What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bengals Stripe Show, presented to you by the Love of Ball Network and brought to you by your hosts, Braden and Gavin. Week 1 came and gone. Looking forward to week 2. Look out that for next episode. If you are on Spotify, go to YouTube, rate us. I did mix it up. 5 stars on Spotify, like, follow. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, share with everyone you have. Go to the link tree, see the other shows. And yeah, this is a tough one to record, Braden. It's a tough one.
It's probably the hardest episode that we're ever going to have to record.
Yeah.
Because everybody had the Patriots written as a win.
Yep. No, as a loss. Everyone. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Everyone had the Bengals winning today, and well, 10-16, New England takes it. Let's talk about it. First, I'm gonna read off the stats. All right, let's look at the stats of the game. Jacoby Brissett, 15 for 24, 121 passing yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Got sacked once. Ramondre Stevenson, 25 carries, 126 yards, one touchdown in the air, or one touchdown just in general. It was a rushing touchdown. He had 3 receptions. They didn't do much in the air. Austin Hooper was their leading receiver with 31 yards. So not much going in the air there. And then on the opposite side, Joe Burrow, 21 for 29, 164 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions, which is good. I like seeing the no interceptions. Better than 4. Better than 4 in week 1. Zach Moss rushed for 61 yards and 9 carries. Ja'Marr Chase, 62 yards. Andre Oshkosh, 26. Chase Brown, 23 all-purpose yards. Didn't see anything out of Jermaine Burton. Didn't see much out of Charlie Jones. So what are some things that stood out for you in this game?
Joe Burrow's lack of looking for his third or fourth read, or even looking to extend the play. He did it on a few plays, but he almost looked a little skittish. Maybe he was a little afraid to get tackled. I have no idea. But I think it was more of the fact that he hasn't played football in 8 months or 9 months, 10 months, however long it's been. And he was literally just out there trying to get the feel of a game again. I mean, he went out there for one drive against backups against the Buccaneers. I'm not going to overreact to this because we all know that who our Joe Burrow is and who Joe Burrow is going to be for the next 10 years. So for me, it's just him trying to feel out football again, right? Like he said, it's a luxury for him to get criticized right now.
Yeah, this is one of his better week 1 performances. To be completely honest, it's not much of his fault. I do want to pull something up real quick. Give me 2 seconds.
While he's looking that up, we'd like to thank Always in Play for hosting all of our live shows. Be looking out for one in the future because there's going to be one coming announced hopefully here in the very soon future. We just want to give a shout out to them. A little shameless plug for the people that helped us get it all started.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't find the stat. But what I'm trying to get at here is that the pocket collapsed. It seemed every play. There were a few times I remember vividly that the pocket really stood its ground. Trent Brown looked underwhelming. I hate to say it, but Alex Kappa looked horrendous. And I think it's time already to start Matt Lee. I've been saying it since April. It's time. It's time. But no, on a serious note, the offensive line looked terrible. I do think, well, at least on the right side, where Kappa and Brown are, and if that just is deteriorating, the whole offensive line is pretty much useless. And I think,
Excuse me.
I don't even know where to go from here with it. You just hope Mims gets healthy very quickly to put him in instead of Trent Brown. You hope Alex Kappa can turn it around, or you hope Matt Lee can be a starting NFL offensive lineman this early in his career, which I think he is. But those are a lot of question marks. Another one I want to bring up is the other side of the trenches, our defensive line. Obviously very injured. It got to a point to where I think, do you know who our leading tackler was, if I'm not mistaken?
Who was it?
It is not. It is the leading tackler on the defensive line was Jay Tufeli.
That's terrible.
That's not something you want to hear. as much as Jay's a great guy, he shouldn't be getting minutes in the game that matters. Obviously, we're missing Chris Jenkins. We're missing McKinley. We're missing a lot of our guys, and I think this DJ Reader loss is a lot bigger than we think. But he's still injured, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But I definitely think a D tackle pick is coming up in the draft. A D tackle or a corner pick. I think we're going to go defense no matter what next year. Our
Yeah.
corners didn't look terrible. We were really locking everything up. What a lot of it was is that these New England receivers really knew what to look for when it comes to soft spots in the zone. They would go, and a lot of their routes were sit downs in the soft spot of zone because Jacoby couldn't hit someone that was moving. It was awful. But when they're standing still, I think I can do that. And he was really going around it. And then last thing that I'll notice, and I'll let you talk, Braden, is the only reason Jermaine Burton was out there was to pass block or run block rather. He didn't run a single route. He was just out there blocking, and it pains me to see that from a third round pick, someone who has as much hype as him. But I think it's just getting him into the hang of things and into what the NFL is.
Yeah, so there's two things I want to pull up really quick. One just because it's badass, and another one just because it's an interesting thing to look at. Um, so here, let's show this screen here. Look at this. We'll share that real quick. Look at that. Perfect pocket right there. I mean, obviously you can see that Orlando's getting beat, but he can hold him just for like a millisecond for Joe Burrow to release this ball. This guy right here is falling down, right? This guy right here is an easy completion. This guy right here is never going to get that unless he's superhuman speed. So there is two balls right here. You want to guess where this ball went? It didn't go anywhere. It was an incomplete pass.
Where'd he throw it? I don't even remember.
I think he tried to get it to Chase here. Well, no, he got flushed and threw it. Just
I remember.
spanned it. Yeah.
Yep.
I think. Don't quote me on that. And then another thing is Andre Yosivas had a decent game, but let's talk about his intro. That was awesome. I mean, I got so hyped for Andre.
Yeah. I noticed not to critique him. I feel like this whole episode is going to critique. No hard feelings to anyone. It's week one. It happens, but this is our job. Andre had kind of struggled getting open. It seemed like. Now, granted, he yeah. Go ahead and play it. Go ahead and play it. Yeah.
Just so awesome for a guy like that to get so hyped.
Yeah, but yeah, he kind of struggled. I feel like a lot of our receivers struggled getting open, including Jamar. But what we saw covering Jamar a lot of this game was a single press Christian Gonzalez on him the entire game with safety help if he gets past 10 yards. So if he's going past that 10 yards, he's getting double teamed. And if not, a lot of it they ran a man zone hybrid to where they had the middle covered. They had Christian Gonzalez on. The whole scheme was to stop Jamar. Still got 60 yards, but it worked pretty effectively.
Yeah, it was an up and down game for him for sure. Actually, PFF came out and said that he averaged a little over 4 yards of separation.
Really?
So if you think about that, that's a lot of separation. I think it was 4 yards, maybe it was 4 feet. I don't know, but it was 4 something, and it was the second most in the league out of week one. And when your quarterback isn't looking to a guy that he's usually, no matter what, looking for, it gives you weird vibes.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it was just a schematical thing, and that he knew that they were trying to take away Jamar, so maybe he was just looking for his other routes. I have no idea. But there is one thing I want to talk about for certainty.
Yeah.
We have to tackle better. We got to.
See, I was gonna kind of go on that. We really just we'd get our hands on him and then we just let him blow by. I was gonna talk about Trey. Trey would overpower that tackle, whoever he was on, so much that he'd get behind the quarterback and Jacoby Brissett would scramble up the middle. That happened so many times, and it happened with Nick Bosa in the Super Bowl. He would beat Jawan Taylor so bad that Patrick Mahomes could just go around him because he beat him too bad. And I want to say you have to have a combination of getting back there and also containing a scramble, but it's Jacoby Brissett. That shouldn't be in the game plan. But Yeah, we need to learn how to tackle. You see so many times we were on a guy fully wrapped around him, it's just broken off, or two hands on him and he goes off, or uh, even taking bad angles.
Yeah, for me it was honestly the fact that we had no interior pressure.
Yeah,
Um, Michael Jordan, not the basketball guy, Michael Jordan, but the guy who played for the Bengals in 2021 and was horrendous. Almost lost the Bengals the Super Bowl if I'm not mistaken. That's who Sheldon Rankins was lined up against,
yeah.
and barely won. Didn't get one pressure. Maybe he got a pressure. Maybe he did. I don't know. I didn't look at his stats, but well, you expect a guy like that to be shoving him over, just like Trent Brown got shoved over.
Yeah.
But on the positive side of it, Sheldon Rankins wasn't in on like a lot of the plays. So maybe it was a snap count thing, and but I feel like once we get Chris Jenkins and McKinley Jackson back, this run defense is going to be completely different. We're running with guys named Jay Tufele and Zach Carter. By the way, Zach Carter and Sam Hubbard did not win one pass rush. They had a 0% pressure rate, or win rate. I'm sorry. So it's a little rough, but there's bright sides to this because the defense played a lot. So you're gonna see a lot of more experience on the defense, especially from Dax Hill.
I want to
But
see Battle in there more.
I agree.
I don't know why he wasn't in as much.
I want to see a more sure tackler. Geno Stone had a ton of missed tackles, which isn't really his fault. That you really never hope that your tackles have to go through Geno's,
3 layers.
Yeah, 3 layers on a run. You really hope it gets stopped honestly at the defensive line, but at most your linebackers.
Yeah.
But it was getting stopped, and that's not what we brought Geno in for. We didn't bring Geno in to come in and make 30 tackles every game. We brought him in to go get the ball, and he had an opportunity to go get the ball, and he missed it, which sucked.
Yeah, overall, it was just a confusing game. I expected a different week one performance. There's not a ton to talk about in terms of like panic button. I'm not pressing the panic button yet. Um, I would press the panic button if we start out 0-3. That's where I'm panicking. What if we start out 1-2, 2-1? You know what I mean? Like I'm chilling. We are destined to drop one of these easy games that we have, and it just sucked. It had to be the season opener in the open in orange. Do we never bring back those pants again? Are they done?
No, I think it's a tradition now. After the fans show out, that thing's going to be a thing every year for sure.
Yeah, it was definitely a good showing. Yeah, short episode today. I mean, it's just reviewing one game, and the next episode is going to be reviewing what we're looking forward to, looking into Kansas City. But I will say it did help. Everyone in the AFC North lost except the Steelers, and I think the Steelers are the least likely to win the division. So I think that we're at least on the same playing field as everyone else.
Yeah. My day got a little bit better watching the Browns get absolutely demolished.
Yep.
Hurt my heart a little bit. I don't know. It also hurt my heart a little bit to watch Joe Mixon go for over 100 yards.
Not even over 178. He went to 178.
Ah, dude, it hurts my soul. Hurts my soul to watch him go crazy like that.
I will say, Zach Moss started out really slow. People were hating on him. But he picked it up, and he was probably our best offensive player by the end of the game. I mean, looking at his stats here, Zach Moss had 61 yards, 4.9 yards per carry, a touchdown, and I think he just started off really slow. Like in the first quarter, he had a total of 5 yards on 4 attempts. So yeah, he started off slow, but he started really good, and I really like I also expected more Chase Brown touches.
Yeah, which was really weird to me, because I was like shaking my dad when they announced Chase Brown first. I was like, no way they brought him in and cut Joe Mixon for Chase Brown to be the starter, which I have full trust in Chase Brown. Chase Brown's one of my favorite players. We've had various conversations.
Cool dude. He's a very cool guy.
Very cool dude. But it just seemed odd to me that they called his name, but then after they called his name, they called Zach Moss's name. I just thought it was weird. But honestly, I could see this being a, how do I put this? Like a prophecy. Like Zach Moss is only here for 2 years, so Chase Brown will be just enough to be into that spot to be ready to take over that role, or maybe they'll find out that maybe he's not ready to take over a role and he'll have to continue to be an explosive cat in the bag for these teams.
Kind of like Tajay Spears or
Yeah.
Jalen Warren. You see that a lot. And one of the last things I wanted to talk about really was Zach Taylor, his decision making in this game. The punt on fourth and 4 with 2 minutes left that pretty much sealed the game. Ryan Rakow also looked really good. That one really disgustingly sexy punt. But I think we need to figure out these rotations a little better. Feels like every single play we are swapping out 4 or 5 or more people. It was insane, and it cost us a field goal. It cost us 3 points because Jamar didn't get off the field quick enough. Sure, he was complaining a little bit, but that got them in field goal range. That little penalty, and I just think we need to figure out more solid rotation. I think week one's always a wake up call. I like the Bengals when they're underdogs, because I'm expecting to lose this weekend. All right, I'm going to say it right now. I'm expecting to lose, but
Bring it on, Kansas City.
But
Give me a win.
That's. But no, I like this mentality to have because I can't get hurt again. All right, I can't feel that pain, and if I just expect a loss, a win feels that much better.
Yeah, I'll ride with you there. That's what it felt like the entire 21 seasons. Just the
Yes, bro.
same old man. And then they win, you'd be like, yes, go. So I want that feeling again. I talked to Bengals captain about this. There's nothing better than when the Bengals. I was at the game and Bengals won their first game in 31 years, and I mean we were just all hugging each other, man. Oh my gosh, I was hugging random people I didn't even like.
Really?
So
That guy behind us.
no, I was on the other side of the field.
Really?
Oh my gosh. But anyway, thank you guys for everything. Gavin, do you have any more to say?
I don't have anything else, but I do know you guys need to stay tuned. Watch our Instagram, watch our Facebook. We've got some big stuff coming, all right? Like
Really big stuff. Yeah.
Big stuff. So be prepared for that. And we'll see you before game day.
Let's go. Hoo day.
Who day?